Well, Shalom Aleichem. I'm thankful and happy to know myself a little bit as an honest person that is not changing his speech for others, that is not being forced to talk about anything that does not really rising and climbing up from my own point of truth of my heart. I'm not politically involved, not under any authority to be forced to any kind of false or manipulated agenda or speech. And as an honest person, even though many times I will talk about different subjects, I will take different approach. Sometimes I'll be more tolerant, sometimes more strict, sometimes more faithful, sometimes more pushing towards actions. To my understanding, it's because that's how life is. And sometimes you need to act with kindness, and sometimes you need to act with power. Sometimes you need to be patient with one, and one time you need to stand strong and to reject. And it might be even the same one that you will reject today, and tomorrow you will embrace him and accept him with open arms, full of love. But the truth is, and the Torah is telling us so, that the person should be prepared to all. There are times for war and times for peace, times for faith and times to protect yourself from your loved ones. Sometimes you are full of trust and you're confident that things will go the right way, and sometimes you're going to put all the effort to make sure that things will be done as you understand that they should. A few days ago in Israel, the holy land of the Israeli people, the city hall, the head of the mayor, you say. Mayor is a female horse. So the female horse of Tel Aviv, he came out with a decree that all synagogues, over 140 synagogues in Israel, in Tel Aviv, the city, the oldest city that was rebuilt in the last of the new settlement, the oldest city of the new settlement that was established by Orthodox people, by observant people. And that city now became the capital of false freedom prophecies and all new age, no genders, proud Democrats that are left wing of one of the fallen angels. And he came with that decree now that over 140 synagogues of Tel Aviv should sign up a new contract, that they will allow any person to celebrate in the synagogues equally. Means they cannot tell men to be in men's section and women in women's section. They cannot decide which rabbi will pray. It's all about the community. It means that if 200 secular people will decide in Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur to enter to the synagogue and making pork barbecue, God forbid, the synagogue management cannot forbid that. That's the new law that he forced them to sign, or else he will cancel their authority to run the synagogue. They will not be allowed to keep on praying in the synagogue. Now, that's a decree that could have been written in 1932, 1935, 1938 in Germany. That's not a decree that should be or can be or supposed to be written in our days and in the Holy Land of Israel. It cannot be. Now, the war between unfaithful and radical heretics against faithful people is strong, is known, is not new. But a couple of days ago, my wife and I met a certain woman, a very nice lady. So she seemed. And we started talking with her, and she was like really out loud talking with us in a nice way, like in a polite way, not fighting, telling us how against she is religious people and religion. And of course that she did not say anything wrong or bad about us, because she didn't have no current reason to say anything, but she was very clear about not wanting to have any religious people around her and not liking us for being religious. Now, me, as a person who grew up in a secular house, and my mother, she's a very left-wing radical woman as well. And I can understand, or at least I'm aware of this kind of approach, of that attitude, lack of knowledge, ignorance. I told her, you know that now in Tel Aviv, they set that decree and so on. And I was sure, I was hoping, I was hopeful that I would hear from her that you cannot set a decree like that, that decree was wrong. You cannot go into what are they asking? What are they claiming to ask? They're claiming that they don't want to be brainwashed by us, that they don't want us to force them into our religion while they want to be secular. Okay, I understand that. I can respect that. If a person doesn't want to change and he wants not to be forced to act under a certain law that he's not accepting, not willing to keep, I can understand that. But in the same breath, she said, okay, so they should change. So she doesn't have no problem to force us to change while refusing to be changed by us. Now that's hypocrisy. That's already not honest. That's not right. If you say, don't force me to any change and I'm not touching your laws, you can live in your neighborhoods, keep your holidays in your synagogues, don't pray in the street, whatever. Okay, in where all people are walking, don't narrow, don't constrict my path, don't destroy, sabotage my life. Don't make your public prayers out in public areas. Maybe there's a side to hear that, maybe. But while she's saying, I don't want you to interfere into my life, she's supporting and accepting that rude interference with Orthodox, modest people who wants to be just observant in their own synagogues. Like they want things to go as they were for over 2,000 years. Like, no, she said, no, you need to update yourselves. You need to change. And I looked at her and I was amazed. Of course, the conversation ended very nicely. We kept being very friendly with her. But my wife and I, we saw how clear it was that they're not really demanding the truth. They're not really asking for the truth. They're claiming to want the truth. Even today, when you have all those demonstrations in Israel against the government, against the approach of the government on the way that they are fighting to bring the kidnapped people, civilians that are kept and held in Gaza. You see that the arguments, you see that the war, you see that the fights, that the disputes are not really for the kidnapped people. It's you see that those people are fighting for other reasons, for other motives. You see that there are many lack of honesties in their purpose to fight. They're fighting for the fight. They want the war. They want the arguments to keep running, to keep going. And they will claim that they're fighting for those ones. And of course, when I'm talking like that, I'm painting the political map in black and white or blue and yellow. But the truth is that there are many shades, and many people's minds are twisted. And most likely, everyone's mind is not perfectly right. And I'm not supporting not the right wing and not the left wing. I'm just supporting the honest people and the honest fight for good and for goodness and to protect the weak and to do as much as we can for the ones in need. If you want to tell me that the Republicans, that the right wing, that like the Likud, whatever, they are more right than the left wing. Look, there are points that I will agree that makes more sense to me on my perspective. But if I look at things from an honest point of view, and I'm seeing that the majority of the public are crashing under the financial burden, under the horrible taxes system and banking system, and people are all in horrible debts, and businesses are crashing, and financial stability is long forgotten dream for the majority of people. Like everyone are struggling, no matter where they're at. So you see that the government, no matter who is holding the wheel, are continuing the same cruel work of last elections into the new one. So they will shout out, "We're going to defend the weak." And then the other party is coming and shouting, "No, you destroyed the weak and you supported the rich. But we're going to do the opposite. We're going to destroy the rich and we're going to support the poor." And in the end of those 4 years or 2 years, in worst cases, you see that everything stays the same. And all the heads of corporations and all the billionaires and millionaires, they stay rich. And they keep on controlling the faucets and the monopoly of all financials. They keep on ripping us off, controlling our food system, our health system, all the education system, everything, like everything is in their hands. And in the end of the day, we're being poisoned and beaten and stay poor. So to cooperate with such system that plays with your brain and tells you, go right, go left, go right, go left, while it's the same rider that rides the same silly, innocent horse that does not realize that he just need to stand up on his back feet, back legs, and just to kick the rider off his back, and then we'll be free. Then you'll be able to run to wherever you want. Like, but as long as you have a rider that takes you and tells you, go right, go left, go right, go left, you just lose your mind. That's the only thing that happens. You're getting tired and weary and confused. And in the end, despair, sad, depressed, needing the system to support you, health wise, mental wise, and all kinds of charity for them to spare the change that you paid for your whole life. Like all your life, you paid 50% of taxes from all your incomes, and you're paying also when you're buying products. So it's rising to be even more than 50%. Like you're giving the majority of your income back to the state, and then they will give you some poor income for the rest of your life, something that will never cover your rent, not to speak about expenses, food and and, and health expenses, medications, and so on. So you see that the system is corrupted. You see that all those people that sits up in that scale, they're they're all psychos, they're all maniacs, they're all villains, they're all evil. If they're from the right wing or from the left wing, they're really all corrupted, and they're forcing us. So we must free ourselves from those chains. They will never free you from chains. Pharaoh will never let you go. Pharaoh, even after he sees that the plagues are hitting him and his people, he doesn't care. As long as he can ride his horse and fight, he will fight. Because he doesn't have any other kind of life except for controlling his slaves. That's his life. That's how he makes his living. The prime minister and all the ministers and like the princes and all those, like all of them, all those heads of corporations, all those large, wealthy billionaires, that's how they make their living. That's how they make their life. That's their life. That's what life is mean for them. That's life. Like their life is to ride upon our backs. They will never go off our back unless we're gonna kick them off the stage. And it will begin with you, with me, with us. It will begin with people. It will begin with people that already started. Like we are new in town, but like really there are elder rebels that are fighting for years. You have artists who are fighting, you have singers who are fighting, you have musicians that are fighting, you have videographers, you have many people who are fighting. You have many authors and writers, you have many people of spirit that are deep into the battle, into the fight against tyranny, and for generations. Just that now it's our time to join the battle, to join the war, and to fight, to cut those chains, and to release ourselves free, and to say, let my people go, let us go, we're going, we are going, we are going by, and to start marching, walking away from those systems, from the health systems, from the pharmaceutic system, from all those vaccines, from all that madness. Over 17 million people died in the last 5 years from so-called invented COVID and vaccines. 17 million people died. And COVID is no different than any other flu. It's just a flu. People died from 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 the from the breathing machines in the hospitals. That's how people died. People died from the vaccines. That's how people died. Those 17 million people were all supposed to recover from the flu, but they died because of being mistreated, and it does not end. Even though many doctors are coming out and saying those things, and maybe many articles are coming, and many people are talking, and testaments with no end, the health systems, they continue their ride like nothing happened. They keep on vaccinating, and fourth vaccination and fifth vaccination, and another booster and another booster and another invented plague and another reason for, like, and people are dying. Cancer was not exist before vaccinations were invented. Cancer was never exist. There was no cancer in the world. It was not a disease people were seeking. People's hearts are stopped beating. People are getting heart attacks. People are getting seizures. People are falling like flies. Athletes, young people, teenagers, women, men, babies are dying after being vaccinated. And the system keep on riding because there's an agenda, because they're making money. The hospitals are making money on the back of dead people from COVID. When a person died from COVID, the hospital is being supported. The hospital is receiving tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars for the death of that patient. There is a horrible interest that people will die from COVID. People are getting rich. Now, if we're not going to talk about those things, we won't save the lives that we might save by talking to the ears that might listen. We have to talk. We have to fight. We have to fight against tyranny in any possible way, through art, through music, through songs, through book writing, through opening new websites, through sharing information online, using social media, talking to people, making phone calls. And even if people started hating you and stopped talking to you because you became so radical that you don't want to kill yourself with vaccinations of poison metal, that you don't want to be forced to get a chip to make your money digital, that someone will be able to close you in certain city without allowing you to cross a certain imaginary border that they set for you, that you can use your chip for money only in your neighborhood's grocery store and not elsewhere. Like, they can stop you from traveling. They can stop your access by all this digital control on people's travels. We must fight. We must fight. We have to fight. And it's the war of the individuals. It's the war of the individuals. It's your war. Now you hear me. Hopefully you are being inspired. That's where I finish my role in your war. Maybe we can meet again. Maybe we can boost ourselves again. Maybe we can inspire each other again. But as for now, you need to catch the torch and go flame your city. It's your job now. You got the flame. That's it. You need to use it. I cannot use it for you. I cannot reach your synagogue. I cannot talk to your rabbi. I cannot speak to your community. I don't have access to your building door, to your friends, to your neighbors. I cannot. I'm not in your groups. I don't speak your language.
They won't listen to me, but they will listen to you. And they will listen to you because you're playing basketball on Sundays. They will listen to you because you drank beer in college. They will listen to you because you're riding bikes together. That's why they're going to listen to you because you have the same hobby. You're going to meet them in the concert that I will not participate, but you will. And over there, you can affect them. And you must, not should, have to. That's why you are here. That's why you're alive. That's why we are alive. Not to drink and to eat and to be happy. There's no joy in food. There's no joy in drinks. There's no satisfaction in this world, lusts and desires. Nothing in the world is satisfying. Zero satisfaction. Come on. What can you drink that will make you so happy? The sweetest wine is bitter. The sweetest food makes you feel like an animal. So full, you ate too much. Every meal you ate too much. Every meal you eat too much. You don't need to eat so much. You don't need to drink so much. And if it's hard for you to stop, I don't tell you to stop, but I am telling you to try to use your time more wisely, to take advantage of time, not to lose time. And even if you don't find yourself, oh, look, Rav Dror, he can speak, he can talk. Oh, who am I? I cannot speak, I cannot talk. Okay, you know what? Let's say so. If that's where your self esteem is at, okay, so take those videos and share them. Take the short clips and share them. No, but my friends already blocked me. Okay, so create a fake page on other outlets and post. I have followers that opened pages on TikTok, on Instagram, and any post that I post, they copy paste to their page and they're posting it as if they're Rav Dror. They're not calling it Rav Dror. One's name is Susan, one's name is Richard. They're all doing their job, but they're doing their job. They don't feel like talking. They don't feel that they can express it better than I. Okay, let's say so. At least use, I'm also using righteous people's articles and handwrites and sayings and inspirational talks. I'm also using other people's content. Where am I taking all the information? You think that I started going and counting 17 million people die? No, I also watched it. I also saw it. I also saw doctors and professors and like experts talking, and I listen to their vlogs, to their conversations, and I take knowledge from them and I'm sharing. That's my way of sharing as well. I'm sharing it into my lectures, into my conversations, into my talks, and you should do the same. And it can be through music, it can be through art, it can be through a regular, simple conversation on the line in the pharmacy, in the line in the grocery store, in the line in the amusement park. Oh man, going to Disney this summer. Okay, go to Disney, but don't forget the villains when you go to Disney. It's not all about fairies. It's not all about superheroes and and joyful hours. There are many who are being crushed by the wagon's wheel, many that are being crushed under the wagons, many that are being killed innocent, many that their lives are being destroyed, many that are manipulated and being lied to for years. And it's our job to fight, to fight. You cannot fight my wars, I promise you, you cannot. Even if you're going to rent the next door apartment, you're going to stand by me, you're going to with me, you won't be able to fight my wars. Some of my wars are inside home. Some of my wars are arguments indoors. Can you help me there? Pray for me. I'll pray for you. You cannot fight my battles, I cannot fight yours, but we can fight together against our mutual enemy. Who is our mutual enemy? All the liars, all the manipulators, all the evil ones, all the ones who are taking advantage of the weak, of the poor, of the innocent. They are our enemy. Jews, Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, I couldn't care less. If they're taking advantage of the weak, destroy them, destroy their systems, destroy all their systems, destroy any good land that they're possessing, burn their barns, burn their fields, take anything you can, flat their tires, break their engines, break their arms, take their microphones, destroy their studios. I don't know what you can do, but whatever you can do, you should do. If it's politicians, if it's evil singers, if it's evil store managers. A couple of days ago, I went to the post office. There's a person coming in, taking a ticket for the line of a person who is in need, like a crippled person who does not need to stand in line. And like I'm talking about like a bull, an animal person, a huge person, taking that and crossing the line. And some elder person told him, excuse me, we're standing here for over 20 minutes. Like, why you? I don't need to stand in line. And another woman is saying, but sir, we also don't need to stand in line. And because they're elders, they're like golden citizens, it's called like old age people. They also exempt from line and they're still standing in line. He said, it's your problem. And he's going into the line. I came, I came to him, I told him, can you show me your ID that is showing that you don't need to stand in line? Your card? Started shouting, started arguing with me. In the end, the clerk, she didn't felt comfortable and she opened another booth, I think you call it. And like she accepted everyone else but him and then she came to him. So like she didn't fight with him, she didn't tell him walk away, but she allowed all of us to enter before of him, ahead of him, and then she accepted him. So like she felt uncomfortable with the situation, so she helped us out. But if I wouldn't stand against that person, he would just take the line. And two old people would stand forever. For what reason? Just because that evil person decided to take his ticket of no line with no permission, with no reason for it, while elder people are waiting in line. And if you're going to let him win, he's going to do it again. That's it. He will never stand in line. If he sees that he made it once, twice, that's it. He will never stand in line again, ever. And you need to like excuse me for my French, but you need to be ready to fight. Sometimes you need to fight. And even if it means to fight, we're not giving our other cheek. That's not part of our culture, not at all. We never grew up on that kind of teachings. No, no. That's not what we learned from Shimon and Levi, and that's not what we learned from Moshe. That's not what we learned from Yoshua bin Nun. No, no. That's not what we learned from Pinchas ben Elazar, from Eliyahu the prophet. No. We learn that you go with justice. We learn that you go and protect the weak. We learn that you go and you fight for your people, for innocent people. You're not fighting the Arabs. You're not fighting the Muslims. You're not fighting the Christians. You're fighting evil. You can find an amazing Muslim person. You're going to fight for him. You're going to fight for him. You're going to protect him with your life if needed. If he is honest and sincere and innocent, you're going to protect him with your life. Even if he's not part of your community, you're going to fight for the world, for all living things. You're going to fight for nature. We're fighting for the truth. And we're counting on Hashem, and we put our trust in Hashem that He will help us to win and overpower all villains and all evil and tyranny. And may our prayers be fruitful, and may we see wonders in our days and in the days of all our loved ones. Amen.